George, instead of answering that one, I've got one that came up and we only have 2 minutes left. I want to feed this one specifically to you. May I ask how to negotiate an offer as an engineer with 2 years of experience? May I ask how to leverage my strengths or how to impress the interviewer? George, this is right up your alley.
Well, 2 years is not a long time, but I think what you need to do is assess your skill set that you're good at, and then leverage that in your discussion with the interviewer. I think most people don't even realize how good they are. And I think you have to, sometimes you have to be honest yourself, but most in this context of Chinese American tend to be more humble than they really are. What you want to look for is really a set of skill that might be transferable to the next job. And most people don't study the job that they're interviewing for to understand what skill set is needed. That's one thing you need to do. Is you applying for a job 2 years later, that's different. Applying jobs now, you got to assess that job right away. So my suggestions for people is really understand the job that you're interviewing for and see what skill that you have today. I don't make it up because it will be very transparent. But I think do an honest assessment, but don't be so humble in a way you don't speak about your expertise. And working for the government, everybody say they are expert in everything, but 3 questions later, you know what they're expert in. And this is what you want to avoid, is don't try to outsell yourself, but be confident and understand your skill set. That's 1.5 minutes, I think.
That was great, George. Yes. And, you know, your art of closing the deal, you know, is a great series. I really enjoyed reading those. If I could also just summarize what you said earlier about the career path, is if you don't know where you're going, it doesn't matter where you end up, right?
That's true. If you don't care where you end up, it could be. But our honesty, some of us cannot control it, right? Yes. My path was interrupted. I was on my way to senior vice president, right, acting general manager, and so on. But then we went into a bubble in Lucent Technology. I took the early retirement, and these guys go totally different directions, right? So this is sometimes you cannot help it, but go in different directions. But generally, you can manage your path.
Yes, but leveraging back to the journey is, as you were saying, if you analyze yourself, what skills do you currently have? And what are the next series of progressions you might want to take? Yeah. And then compare, what are your gaps? What are the key experiences, skills, credentials you're lacking? And start planting seeds, because some of those credentials would take you 4 years to get. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. So you've been reading my article. I could tell.
Yeah, well, I've also lived it, so I understand it. You know, plan ahead. Have that journey in mind, and have the destinations or the experiences you want to have before you retire. And so be working those things. If you wait till the interview, you know, to try and think up like, what are some cool techniques I can use? That's what George was saying, watch out for, is don't outsmart yourself and find yourself in a job you're not qualified for, right? You won't. Yeah. You want to prepare. So when you get that nice job, like Kathy said, you want to shine your first 90 days. You don't want to be learning like, what is this coding language I said I could do? I've got 90 days to be good at it, right? You're already in trouble. Yeah. Fred, you want to make any comment in closing?
Well, yeah. So, you know, this both are great questions and critical questions. You know, you know, first question is I will give, you know, to match yourself to the job description the best, and then present yourself as the best. And then, you know, because you only have a few years experience, and then, you know, successful case track record will win that conversation. And then you match yourself to the job description, it will win your conversation. And George's comments is absolutely, you know, you don't know what you ended up your career, but you'll never stop learning. Okay, never stop thinking what you're going to do when you grow up, and then follow the trend, and then hey, you will find it out. You will find that out. You know, nothing is you know, it will always say impossible, but doable, right? So, yeah.
Great. Thank you, Fred. We got